Hello and welcome back to Pillars of Eternity. So, last time we spoke to a couple of gods. Well, we spoke to 4 gods. Spoke to Helia, spoke to Abaddon, we spoke to Galawain, and we spoke to Malgrin. We also spoke a little bit to Durance about Malgrin, and we have learned, or Magrin, and we have learned that she is possibly working with Wodika. So, a whole bunch of stuff there. But this time, we're heading over to these gods. We're talking to Skane, Ondra, and Rimgrand, or like one of those. I'm not sure which one we're going to speak to if we speak to any of them. And we're going to speak to Berath. I think Berath gets his own pillar. Now this one is Whale Shrine, and I'm assuming that Whale is kind of, because he's kind of the god of mystery, maybe that's why he's not talking to anyone. And this one is Wodika's shrine, and Aothis doesn't have a shrine. Which is interesting. You'd expect Aothis to have a shrine, given that he's like, you know, top dog in terms of gods, but maybe he had one that is no longer working, so it got moved to someone else or something. Or maybe this isn't like, this doesn't stay the same, like maybe gods move towards one that they want people to talk to them from or something. I don't know. Anyway, let's go to this one, see which god it is and see who we have to learn the phrase for. In the nearby constellations, you can make out the shape of a strange horned beast. From time to time, you think you sense a faint chill emanating from the shrine itself. So it's Rimgrand. Okay, let's have a look at Rimgrand. It is in our inventory, in our stash, in our book collection. Now, did we sort these, or are these just the last ones we got? I think we might have sorted these, which is... Oh, there we go. Got a cold. Okay. All life ends in stillness. Just seeing if there's anything else. Embodies not death, but manifestations of collapse, famine, plague, bad luck. Okay. Faithful insist that that even another god's life can end in stillness, but they claim other gods must flee from the beast of winter's mastery over death. Okay. Not a proper tale of Rimgrand until the hero's life ends in stillness. Alright. Let's pray. All life ends in stillness. You feel a sudden gust of cold air, as if the shrine were bursting into wintry life. The frigid cold wind cuts through you like a sharpened blade, and the darkness encroaches upon the edges of your sight. You kneel and close your eyes. As you pray, the blackness fades into white, and a howling wind fills your ears. The vision that slowly resolves itself is of a broad, frozen plain. You see a procession of elves in the distance. Periodically fading into and emerging from the whiteness, they trudge over snowbanks, their heads down against the driving winds. I know this place. This is the White that wends. As they trek past you, one man, bundled in furs, turns his head. You headed for Noonfrost, and the frost-hewn breach too. Before you can answer, he's lumbered ahead. You follow the caravan, and in a couple of minutes you come to a wall of ice. It disappears into the pale emptiness overhead, and stretches as far as you can see in either direction. The elves stop in front of a mirror-smooth section that's framed like a temple door. It seems somehow thinner than the rest of the wall. You can't see what's on the other side, but a debilitating cold emanates from within. The elves pull pickaxes and shovels from their sealskin packs and begin hacking at the smooth ice, their implements flying through the air in swift, shining arcs. Though they throw their bodies into their labour, not one of them so much as scratches the polished ice, yet with each blow, something bellows in the distance. Whatever that is huge, and angry. Sagini squints into the whiteout. And it's coming our way. Pelagina's head whips around to see what the bellowing is coming from. Forget about the elves, we need to be ready to move. She turns again to face you, flexing her hands in the cold air. Or fight. The elves hack away, seemingly oblivious to the furious lowing and to the tremors under your feet. The snow has risen to your knees, your legs feel frozen in the drifts. Wait? You watch as the elves continue to work at the ice. They pay no heed to the rumbling roar or the numbing wind. Their movements, however, gradually slow. They labour at the ice with arduously sluggish movements until they finally freeze in place. some mid-swing and others preparing for the next blow. You touch the elf nearest to you, and he crumbles into a mound of snow. A final gale blows past, scattering the remains of the elves in a chaotic flurry. You notice a single spiderweb crack in the smooth barrier is the only thing that mars the perfect surface of the ice. Whatever's on the other side of the strange doorway, you feel it tugging at you. Only when you look back and see the parallel gashes trailing behind your legs in the snow do you realize how strong its pull is.
My end comes to all things in time. Seal the frost-hewn breach and instruct the pilgrims in the patience of Remergond.
Okay, let's plug the hole with a handful of snow. You fill your hand with snow and shove it into the crack. It hardens instantly, and a hoary rime glows over the smooth surface of the frozen doorway, fusing it with the rest of the wall. When you take your hand away, a perfect crystal of ice remains in your palm. As you examine the crystal, the vision around you fades, but the unmelting shard of ice remains in your hand. Interesting. He just wants us to go to the... He wants us to go straight there, and that's not the right one. He wants us to go here and, yeah, close the frost-hewn breach. Interesting. Well, he didn't really want to talk much more than that, so I guess we'll talk to Berath? Okay, let's see what Berath has to say. In the glittering stars of the nearby constellation, you see the grim shape of a skull. Its jaws are wide open, as if frozen in a silent scream. Okay, so, I think the correct answer is, there is life and death and life. I think that's correct. Because I think he's the god of change. Yeah, I think that's correct. Nothing else seems to be the right one. So there's Wodica, Whale, Skane, Remgrant, Ondra, Galawain, Helia. No, that's Galawain, this one. Struggle is Magrin. All things can be forged as Abaddon, so this one must be Berath. There's a rippling shift in the air around you, as if some unfelt wind has changed, bringing upon unexpected warmth. You feel the particular weight of an unseen presence and of eyes upon you. You kneel and pray to Berath. Even while your eyes are closed, you see a road that seems to stretch on forever. The stars wheel overhead in a clockwork rotation of constellations, disappearing over the horizon to your left, only to rise on your right. You try to make out the details on either side of the road, but your eyes can't seem to focus. One moment you think you see a meadow blanketed with mist, and another sheer canyon walls. For just an instant, you even see waves lapping at the edges of the road. Were you to step into the shifting landscape, you feel certain you would only end up back on the road. You know this is a vision, but the packed dirt feels firm beneath your feet, and the night air cool on your face. You're walking. Your feet seem to carry you forward of their own accord. Something looms ahead of you. As you get closer, you see two stone figures that look strangely familiar. The two faces of Serono, what we call Berath. She shudders slightly, her feathers ruffling as she peers at the figures with apprehension. You remember the door to Silaban Rillag and the two figures carved into the mountain next to it. One looks vaguely male and the other vaguely female. Only a thin layer of flesh covers their skeletal bodies, which twist to face the doorway between them. The doorway, however, is not what you saw in the ruins. It's a skull, gaping and jawless, and as you look on, its open mouth seems to grow. The arms of the two stone sculptures are swept towards the mouth, inviting you in. Let's enter. The road continues through the maw to another shifting landscape surrounded by stars. As you pass through it, you see an identical doorway in the distance. A dwarven man stands near it, unmoving. You turn and look behind you, only to see the skull gate you just passed facing you. An elven woman waits in the road. Like the dwarf, she stands still. Let's talk to the dwarven man. You continue down the road towards him. He looks up as you approach, but you can't tell if he's looking at you or through you. His face is smoothed, but flaccid, as if the flesh has been detached from the muscles underneath. As you look on, his face begins to change. Wrinkles crack at the corners of his eyes. His mouth sinks, carving deep lines from his nose to the corners of his lips. His jowls sag, and the loose flesh hangs like dough. He raises his cupped hands. They're covered in blood. He lifts them to his face and smears himself, from his newly creased forehead to the wattles of his neck. As he massages the dark, sticky fluid into his skin, the fresh wrinkles disappear, the hanging folds recede, and his flesh tightens as if re-adhering to his skull. He lifts his head, and this time you know he's looking at you. His renewed face looks like a mask, artificially smooth and still. Behind it, his black eyes are two hungry pits, yawning like the empty mouths of skulls. Come, make your sacrifice to the Ethic Null. His body blocks the path. He extends a bloody hand towards you. Interesting. Okay, so the dwarf, if he is Ethic Null, then I forget what the other ones are called, but there was another set of people, the friendly druids kind of ones, the ones that were over, like as we entered into the tree area, they were over to the right, and one of the leader had gone away for a bit. Let's take his hand. You grab his hand, but his skin gives too easily under your grip. As you try to pull away, you hear a noise like dried canvas tearing. His skin splits, following a long seam that begins at his arm and stretches the length of his body. Blood gushes forth in such quantities that you can't imagine there was ever anything else in him. Sure enough, as the dwarf empties the blood, he collapses like a desiccated husk. The blood in the path gleams with 1,000 souls worth of essence. The essence evaporates, trailing shiny filaments into the night sky. Only now that he is dead can you continue onward. The blood pools around your feet. You look up and see the elven woman waiting further down the road. You start towards her. There's something unnatural about the way she stands. She's too still. When you get closer, you see her legs taper into a slender trunk, and in place of her feet are gnarled, twisting roots. She lifts her face to an invisible sun. Her long golden hair is the colour of autumn leaves, and as you look more closely you realise her head is actually covered with tendrils and vines, sprouting brilliant yellow leaves. Each glimmers with the essence of an entire soul. She gives you a beatific smile. As you look on, the leaves slowly fall from her head and settle at her roots. They melt into the path beneath her, and almost immediately new leaves sprout in place of the old. She reaches towards you, still smiling as roots spring from her fingertips. Her outstretched arms bar the path. Come, graft your soul to the Golden Grove. That was it, the Golden Grove. Let's take her hand. Her roots twine around your fingers, and as they do, they grow rigid and cold. Her outstretched arm petrifies, and as a rough stone bark overtakes her flesh, she can only look on in horror. You break away from her brittle grasp. Her feet are rooted in place, but she twists and writhes as if trying to flee her own dying limb. The petrification reaches her shoulder and spreads down her body, freezing it in a painful arc. It creeps up to her neck and she throws her face skyward like a drowning swimmer. The greyness covers her face, freezing her grasp in stone. Now that she is still and lifeless, you can continue past her. Only the golden leaves on her head remain untouched. As you watch, they fall one by one onto the path below. They shrivel as the shimmering essence fades from them. A voice echoes along the road, barely more than a whisper on a breeze. Return them to the wheel. You lift your gaze and see the skull gate ahead of you on the path. The candles of Tir Everon wink through the open mouth. So, the Servant of Death would like us to end the lives of these two figures. Interesting. Well, I don't think we're going to do it. Okay, here's what I see happening in this room. I want to go through it just quickly. So Helia had a quest for us. The quest was to go and deal with the Sky Dragon in a way that made sense, and we've done that. Magrin, Abaddon, and Galawain had a quest for us in Galawain's Maw. That was Galawain's quest, and it was how we solved it would affect how, how he saw us, and that was to gain his favour. So we've done that. Remgrand only wants us to go and seal the breach, which I think we should do. I think that's fair. But Barath wants us to kill 2 people. I don't think that's what we're going to do. I don't think we're going to kill them. I think instead we're going to come back here. When we killed that guy earlier, in the kind of devious poison way. That wasn't really that, like, the reason we did that wasn't to kill him. That was to deal with the fact that he was going to sacrifice someone else. The other two, yes, we don't agree with their religions, but that's not necessarily a problem. Like, the other guy wanted to murder. These two, it's just a religious difference, and I don't see us working for Barath. We are not working for the god of death.
What?
I don't think that's the way we work. So I think we should leave. We should go do Remirgan's stuff. We should talk to him, and then we should come back. And we should accept Helia. Right, so... Oh, people here.
Stop right there.
Okay. Can we talk?
You're in the wrong city,
Phantom Soul...
Inquisitor.
Oh.
Did you think you wouldn't be recognized here in your old home? I've seen your trials with my own eyes.
Oh, he stopped. I have seen you light pyres with good people tied to them. People I'd known many a year. They deserved your confession.
Suros, what are you doing?
She has a picture. Ooh, this is interesting because this has there's only been two people with a well, there's only been actually one person with a picture who is not a companion, and that person was the big bad, who I've forgotten the exact name of at this exact moment. But this means that she is seriously important. Okay. Startled, the soldier releases you immediately and turns to face the speaker. A woman in a plain wool tunic, fully a head shorter than he, but somehow seeming to tower over him. You have seen this woman's face before, but from afar, bloodied and burned as she lay stretched across an iron wheel. At the moment, it is marked only with concern.
An assassin sent by the Inquisition, my lady, daring to approach our camp.
If he is so poor an assassin as to approach an armed guard in daylight, I should have nothing to fear. I would hear what this man has to say.
Surely this is some trick of my mind. I did not expect to see you again.
Okay, we got a bunch of lies. I wanted to see you again. I've come to help you in any way I can. I've come to believe in your teachings to be true. The evils I've done in the name of the Inquisition are too great for me to bear. I wanted to help you end it. Or I can say, Grand Inquisitor Theos, the Ninth, Arcanon, dispatched me here to spy on you. Okay, so this is where we get to break, I think. So in all the other ones, we've been working for Theos, we've been loyal. This one would allow us to say to her, we have come to spy. And then that fits in with our honesty that we have now. Grand Inquisitor Theos has dispatched me here to spy on you. Are things as desperate as that over there? I'd never have known. I hope your next assignment is more stimulating. Listening to my lectures is dull work for a spy. It is special to have an old pupil return to me. I must have done something right, even after having taught so much that was wrong. Whatever your reasons, I've missed you over all these years. Having you here now, at a time when I'm surrounded by strangers, is a wonderful gift.
I would like for you to stay here in our camp as my guest.
There were a very odd collection of lines that are voice acted.
My lady Eora, I beg of you. This is an Inquisitor. This is a desperate attempt on your life. The only way it can succeed is if you allow it to.
This is a missionary, same as I was. Taught the wrong things as I was. If I can't have faith in one man's ability to reason, once he knows the truth, what hope do we have?
My lady, he admits being a spy.
That should make him less of a threat, wouldn't you agree? I have nothing to hide. All I see here is an opportunity to persuade someone who could help us. We have many former missionaries here. They are our most loyal, our most helpful. Many have died for us. These are not people we should be turning away. And if the Inquisition wants my life, they can have it. But they know as well as I do that my cause will not die with me. Come, we have much to talk about.
Interesting. Okay. So we did turn traitor, at least in our version. I wonder whether there's a version where she does not realize that you are a spy. I assume not, but it's interesting. I'm guessing that's why we're against Theos now. We positioned ourselves like that. Okay. Well, let's head over to Rembrandt. Right, where is it? There we go. Old Song. Old Song, yes. And then we just need to head to the Cold Temple. Right, we can walk right in here, like all the way up, and nobody should question us. Yeah. Okay. We need to be in fight formation, which I think we are by default. Yeah. Cool. I just want to walk up like we're going to fight. Hello. Again, I must focus. Please leave quietly if you don't mind. Right, Mirgand sent me to close the frost-hewn breach. You are a man of compassion. Would you trap us here another 100 lifetimes? We can't continue like this. We've got to find a way into the White Void. The White Void?
God's domain. A place where all things are mingled like snowflakes in a blizzard. It's a vortex of such chaos that even the beast of winter himself could not calculate the trajectory of the infinite particles of essence there. As souls are broken down over successive reincarnations, they become part of the White Void. It is a place where all things find perfect unity and freedom. The frost-hewn breach is a weak spot in the barrier between us and the White Void. Thin ice on a frozen lake. We've come from the White that wends to find it.
And you want to open the breach?
So that we can die. Permanently. We've lived more lifetimes than any mortal should. We've been faithful followers of Rimergond since our earliest incarnations. He's the god of entropy. Why would he force us to be reborn again and again?
That rage sounds painfully familiar. Why did the god of seekers punish me for asking a question? Still, I wish I could give him the peace the whale has shown me. Gods act in ways that are unknowable to us. To ascribe them motivations is to assume them to be folk, not gods. Better to accept in advance than to lament and stay stuck in one place.
But if anything could pass through the frost-hewn breach, it would enter directly into the White Void. This death is overdue for us. We just have to find a way through.
Tell me about you and your people.
We call ourselves Glomfellan. Most here know us as Pale Elves. We hail from the White that wends, a glacial continent at the southernmost edge of Eora.
I know I'm a pale elf. They're nomads. Hardy lot. Some of the tribes occasionally spend a season in southern Nastic Tac, I guess we'll go with. But yeah, I know, I'm a pale elf.
We received a watcher in our lands a season ago and paid her to tell us of the origins of our souls. We wanted to contemplate the essence that fills us and consider how Rimergond might shatter and sow us once our days are spent. We were not prepared for what we learned.
I don't think the Watcher was either. She explained that every one of us had been reborn whole into the clan over centuries, generations spanning back to the first days our people set foot on the White that wends. We had all been cut off from the mercy our God promises. That night we began awakening, experiencing fragments of our past lives, old hatreds, dead passions, tangled memories. It illuminated nothing but the realization we're doomed to live 1,000 pointless lives, never closer to Rimergand's salvation. How did he conclude these lives were pointless? Maybe Rimergand showed them exactly what they asked, and they can't see the answer in front of them. I suppose when one seeks, they ought to listen. A leap of reasoning is to be expected. We want to die. We want Rimergand to scatter our souls into the ether, that their 1,000,000 fragments might join with the White Void. My magic hasn't found a way through the frost-hewn breach yet, but there must be one. You can't oppose the will of a god. You think that because Rimergand spoke to you in a dream, you can march in here and tell us about his will? or that your elegant words will direct our faith, we followed him and suffered by him, and for almost as long as this temple has stood. Now we seek the very end that he promises. Do not lecture me about my duties to my god. I don't want to kill them, but I also don't want to give them the ice crystal. Die. Oh, camera went weird. Yeah. Okay, so let's start off with fire sword on that guy. You go get him. Switch into shape-shifting form. You fire. You right there. Paralyze the healer. Right. You give everybody the magic shield. Right. And then you, we have a stun, right? Yes. Stun the sorceress.
I'm ready.
Go. Right. That's good. And straight in at the healer. We got some damage down on him. He's actually almost dead. Right. Hit him with another shot. Paralyze going down. Stun the other one.
I bring your end.
Okay. Healer's down. Good. Main guy's down. Both of these ones are stunned. You. Oh no, nothing I want you to do there apart from attack the sorcerer. I want you to also attack the sorcerer, but I want you to blind them. Ravius on the paladin. I want you to go and attack the vanquisher. I want you to attack that one. And you to attack that one. Okay. With the vanquisher, if you could murder him, that would be great. Also, I realized we never healed at any point or rested. So it's not great. But that's fine. We're doing damage. You two turn on that one. Give everybody the damage reduction. Cool. Now our back three can all attack the sorceress. And then everybody can attack this guy. Right. One more hit. There we go. Should almost be down. Down. Good. Not quite what we were asked to do. Not quite. You have a grimoire. Grab that. Yeah, we'll grab all of that. Okay. Grab all of that. Grab all of that. That's not ideal, what we just did there. Well. A pedestal of black ice rises from the floor. Long finger-like ice crystals as hard and clear as diamonds surround and pierce the altar. A hole is being gouged out the middle of the altar. Though it can't be more than a few inches deep, it sucks in at the air around you. Plug the hole with Rimmergan's shard. The shard fits perfectly. As it settles into place, the cold around the altar dissipates. Similarly, the portal before you seems to thicken and a mysterious seepage tapers off. Okay. Well, we gotta head back now. We gained reputation with Twin Elms and the Fangs. We're now extraordinary with the Fangs. That's pretty good. Hope that leads to something. I'm not sure it will, but I hope it leads to something. Can we just sneak out of here? Alright, get him. Murder him a lot. Right. Not you. You. Switch into form. Yeah, you two on the priestess. Oh, one of them wasn't a U2, one of them was a, yeah, one of them was just a random person. Okay. Durance, give everybody the attack damage buff.
My mind feels
there we go. That's fine. Now give everybody the shield. Alright. This is fine. We have to wait for him to cast that. Durance, do you have remove suppress affliction? There we go. Suppress it. Oh, it worked. Stop casting. Attack. You throw in your bouncy attack. Right. Now we're attacking Veskil. Okay.
My mind feels sharp as steel.
That's fine. Veskil is dead. Attack the elf priestess. Cool. Grab her loot. There we go. Lots and lots and lots of loot. Yeah. There we go. Wasn't ideal, but we did it. Time to leave. Right, and now we can go speak to Remergand. Pray. Yes, same stuff happens as before. As the snowstorm gets closer, you see Uruks as colossal and slow as a glacier. Its shaggy white hair is matted with frost, but beneath it, ribs like a ship's frame protrude. It's the Beast of Winter. A man, emaciated and almost naked, huddles at the beast's legs. His body is scored with lash marks. His nose and ears have been carved from his face. His black eyes pierce the whiteout. Skein, oh dear. The Uruk stops and stands before you, enveloping you in the violent blizzard that surrounds it. Though its mouth does not move, the beast speaks in a deep, thunderous voice.
A clan of Glamfelin ventured from the Whitefat Wens to find the crack in the ice. When you sealed it, you damned their souls to a slow weathering here, one they had sought to escape.
Yeah. That is what your vision directed, I guess, is what we'll say.
A fitting reply from an obedient servant. No guile with you, indeed.
For
Okay.
each there is a season watcher. Winter's shroud covers all things in its time. The heat and energy of life dissipates, and untethered essence fades into chaos. But entropy is a chisel of ice and a hammer of wind. It is not for mortals to wield these tools.
The world shudders beneath you, and a great crack echoes across the white expanse. The ice splits at your feet, waves lapping through
The
the
Watcher
rift.
seeks something long lost. What is it you search for?
Theos, the ninth Arcanon, the man responsible for my current plight.
Yet there is a greater plot at work here, Watcher. Theos acts not for himself. He is the Burned Queen's quiet slave, a master of secrets and schemes.
Theos is a winter gale, unseen by the world even while he carves and shapes it. Woodica directs him, sending him to wipe her enemies from Eora.
And animancy as well. He would see those secrets lost, the knowledge forgotten.
If I don't make it through this, assuming it's not too much to ask, please don't tell the Jukes that I did tell them so.
And he would see his mistress grow fat on the essence of thousands. For her, he has harvested the unborn souls of the Dyrwood.
It's impossible to tell whether Skane's ragged expression is a smile or a snarl. What does Woodica want with these
To
souls?
consume them, to collect her evaporating power, rebuilding what the turning ages have stripped from her.
She would reclaim her status like an island of silt dredged from the sea.
With this fresh, raw essence, Woodica will seize power over those gods and kith who have refused to acknowledge her authority, the ultimate act of vengeance.
Are the gods no better than Kith? Plots and schemes, they consume the innocent and feed them to the powerful, and never satisfied hunger. Why does Theos hate
He
animancy?
believes that some knowledge is best lost to mortals.
More importantly, Woodica despises it, and he yields to the will of the exiled queen in all things.
What now?
Theos has removed these souls from the cycle. They are ice melting in the sun. Let them fade.
Let them forget this world and be forgotten by it.
Take the souls she so desires and grind them into dust. Let her see her careful schemes thoroughly ruined.
For several seconds, the waves wash quietly against the ice, and the Uruk stands silently amidst the turning flurries.
It is the destiny of all things to crumble and join the chaos that follows this world. Some seek it willingly, as you have seen.
To mingle, roiled and stirred by the tides of the universe. It is not an unkind fate.
You would give these souls the very fate you sought to deny the Lamfellan pilgrims.
I am the beast of winter. I neither speed nor alter my path for the whims and desires of Kith. I take souls at the time of my choosing, be it mote by mote or in a sudden tempest of chaos.
These souls, they have already forgotten their place in this world. They have been lost to existence. Let them be memorialized and mourned for an age, and then forgotten entirely.
Why do you oppose Wodka?
She desires to order chaos and shackle the agents of change in the world. Under her, all things would remain static and frozen according to her laws.
Even now, she only barely keeps the pact of the gods to leave the affairs of Kith in mortal hands. She moves in Theos where she cannot move directly.
And so we call on you to do the same. Such are the schemes of the queen that was.
I'll seek Theos in Sun in Shadow.
When you reach the burial isle, we will send lost souls to guide you through the pit. This is our gift to you. What you do after you face Theos will be your choice. But we would have you set the stolen essence adrift.
And whether you would heed us or no, understand that our end comes to all things eventually. Help us achieve it, and we shall reward you now with a power to rival Theos's.
But do not choose lightly. We forget nothing, least of all a betrayal.
I would hear what the other gods have to say
Do not
first.
wait forever. We wait, but Theos does not.
Remergand continues towards you, swallowing you in a blinding, deafening snowstorm. You experience a dizzying exhilaration, disorientation, oblivious to the landscape around you and even the reality of your own body. You hear a noise that could be the shrieking winds or Skane's screeching cackle, then it recedes with everything else. Remergand reappears in the distance, trudging away from you, and the whiteout follows him. As the vision of snow fades, it leaves in its wake the flagstones of Tir Ephron. Well, we have decided. We're choosing Helia. We're going to wait for that to disappear. Oh good, we got taxes. Fantastic. Gonna disappear and then pop back up with their second message? Nope, that's it. Cool. Pray to Helia. Do you return to swear your oath, Watcher? Do not underestimate my power. I'm a mighty friend to those who are faithful. I swear to return the souls of the hollowborn children. I swear to return the souls to the hollowborn children of the Dyrwood. And I shall remember. The dark wings snap shut, and a tiny sparrow flits to your shoulder. It tilts its head back and opens its beak, and the song that spills forth is like nothing you've ever heard. Melodies, at once mournful and beautiful, entrance you. The world becomes a place of pure colour and sound. Each perfect moment follows the next like the lines of a poem or the bar of a song. You are granted Helia's boon. You awaken as if from a dream, standing in Tir Ephron. Helia's song and the power of her blessing follows you still. Okay, so what is Helia's boon? Helia's boon is perception and lore. Okay, fair enough. Does that mean our perception's like 20 or something? 23. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Right. Let's head out of here and move forward just to check.
You'd have better odds against a Stelgar.
Okay. Okay,
You
just
can
checking
trust
that
me.
we're not getting any more visions. Doesn't seem like it. I just want to walk kind of over here, looking for visions. Don't think we're getting any, which is good. Just going to walk right up to the edge, and then I am going to end the episode here. Thank you for watching. Next time we're going to go and do some endless paths, so I will see you then. Goodbye.